Tonight we have new information from the deadly stabbing at a high school track meet.
Since 5 o'clock, Frisco police released the arrest report that details the moment officers arrived at the scene. The arresting officer writes when he reported he had an alleged suspect. The officer said Carmelo Anthony said he did it. According to the arrest report, the tragic event began with the suspect sitting under another team's tent as rain fell and being told to move. A witness told police Anthony immediately opened his bag and reached in, telling the victim, "Touch me and see what happens." When the victim pushed him, witnesses say Anthony pulled a knife from the bag and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. The murder suspect reportedly asked police on the scene if what happened could be considered self-defense and asking if the victim was going to be okay. Maria Guerrero takes a closer look at the case and the grief in Collin County.
Facing 5 to 99 years in prison if convicted, Carmelo Anthony no longer appearing as emotional as he did after being arrested in the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
They were twins, identical twins, and his brother was holding on to him, trying to make it stop bleeding, and he died in his brother's arms.
The horrifying scene playing out Wednesday morning during a district track meet with over 100 student athletes participating. Frisco police say Anthony, a Centennial High School student, stabbed Metcalf, a Memorial High School student, during a fight. The victim's family says Anthony was told he was sitting in the wrong spot and that the teens did not know each other. Frisco police and the school district declining to provide new information or interviews. The district also not responding to questions raised by a lot of parents about what kind of security these daytime track meets have and whether student athletes' bags are checked.
Frisco ISD doesn't use metal detectors in the schools, so it would be unusual for them to have them at an athletic event of this nature.
Former Dallas ISD Chief of Police Craig Miller says it would also not be unusual for Frisco ISD to have a smaller presence of school resource officers on hand.
Now, when you hear about these cases, you're struck with the tragic circumstances.
Defense attorney Russell Wilson, a former prosecutor, is not involved in this case, but a potential impact of the deadly encounter happening on school grounds.
The prosecution will be saying this is a place where you wouldn't expect an incident like this to happen, and I probably would expect the defense to say that they didn't go to this incident or to this track meet intending for an altercation like this to happen.
Whether words were exchanged may not matter, says Wilson.
The Texas law, though, doesn't allow a person to use deadly force in response to verbal provocation alone.
Memorial High pausing to remember their 11th grade warrior during second period. His accused killer in jail on $1 million bond. Approved visitors include his father, siblings, and girlfriend. In Frisco, Maria Guerrero, NBC5.
And we begin.
So you see the comment here. And just so we're clear, nobody said that Carmelo didn't have a right to defend himself. And now as we understand, it appears that Austin put his hands on him, pushed him, or whatever. Okay, fight it out. Fight it out. Yeah, I mean, we all were taught, if somebody put your hands on you, you defend yourself. Anybody got a problem with that? But I also see they immediately reached in to grab a knife. So listen, is it pandering when you tell the truth? That's the problem that I have with people. The truth is the truth. Because see, here's the thing. That's the difference between fighting it out and get charged with assault and battery as opposed to fighting and stabbing someone in the chest and now being charged with homicide at 17. That's the difference. That is the difference. And the fact that I have to even be here and explain it lets me know the level of intellect of individuals I'm dealing with. But the internet does not surprise me. Again, we all been bullied. Hell, I was. Ultimately had to fight it. What? Fight it out. She didn't bother me no more. My husband was an old lineman. Yeah. They tried. You fight it out. You live to fight another day, though. But it goes back to what I said. No emotional control. No sense of critical thinking. If I do this, because see, the moment that he said, well, would that be considered self-defense? So in his mind, he thought, okay, well, he pushed me. I can stab him to death. It may be mitigation. But again, you heard my schoolmate, my OU classmate say verbal provocation. And again, you have to meet the level of the threat. Now I'm interpreting that part. But either way, Austin is dead. Okay? Carmelo is going to prison. And in Texas, probably will be charged as an adult. So his life is ruined also. But he's still here. But his life is ruined also. Family's life is ruined also. But they can go visit him. See him. Talk to him. The other family gets to visit a grave site. We all, hey, people bully the wrong people and then you F around and find out. It's still, like I said, it didn't warrant him losing his life. And again, as I'm watching stuff on the news coverage, like I said, around 10 o'clock, it started to rain. It started to rain. He sat in the wrong tent. Okay. Ain't nobody acting like we don't remember what it was like to be in high school doing high school-ish. But we live to fight another day. Those are my thoughts. What are yours? Take that with you. Oh, and another thing. The emotional intelligence or lack thereof of teenagers, by virtue of the fact not understanding the magnitude of what could happen when you pull out a knife and stab somebody in the chest. Is he gonna be okay? You have a weapon. So, okay, there was no premeditation. We can go with that. But again, when you have a weapon, you have to understand what could happen if you have to use it. And the circumstances need to be pretty dire. Dire. And lastly, for those of you who want to come over here talk about a hate crime, you got to be able to prove that. I know many of you want to look for a reason to be able to say, because I've seen it on some comments, black privilege, we ain't doing that over here. We ain't doing that over here. Okay? Because this will be the same video if the roles were reversed. We're not doing that over here. You have to be able to prove a hate crime. And you just heard them say they didn't know each other. Now, if something comes out of manifesto or whatever, then we got some different additional information to consider. But as for right now, we don't have that. So, move around.